How you doing? And thanks for tuning in to the What the Hell podcast. This podcast is dedicated to those things that drive you nuts and annoy you and just make you say, "What the hell?" Come on in. Let's get this thing started. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? Oh man, what the hell? What's going on, all my what the hell people? Thanks for tuning in once again. I do really appreciate it. Lots of shit going on in the what the hell world. So, number one, let's just get this out of the way. I put up a YouTube channel. That's right, I've started a YouTube channel for what the hell, and got a couple videos up there. Would love if you guys would go over there and like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. Especially would love comments, suggestions, any kind of feedback. I'll even take the negative feedback. I don't really care that it's negative. I do care about getting feedback. I want it. I don't care if it's negative because it would help me improve. I look at it that way. I will put those things up as I can. Nothing too fancy right now. It's primarily kind of the audiogram style. I may look into doing more video stuff in the future. I don't know. Lots of things to think about there. So, all that having been said, please go ahead and check out the YouTube video channel, like, subscribe, and all that. And while you're at it, if you could go ahead and review the podcast wherever you happen to listen. I know that's probably only available on Apple Podcast, maybe Google Podcast as well. But please rate, review, comment, and all that kind of stuff. Would love to have all that in my bonnet, so to speak. I do appreciate it very much. Now, let's get into the annoying topic of the day. Let's talk about credit scores. Yeah, credit scores. I don't know if there's anything quite as annoying lately, I guess, as credit scores. Now, in order to kind of examine this subject, you got to look at a lot of different shit in order to kind of understand it. And the first thing I would say with regards to credit scores is there's fucking too many of them. Okay? There are too many fucking credit scores. Really. Now, think about this, okay? I'm going to lay a fact down on you real quick, and I want you to ponder it for a minute. When I was looking into doing this topic, because it's kind of a personal topic to me, but I wanted to get some more information to be able to spread it to you guys out there. That's right, I want to spread the love. According to WalletHub.com, okay, prepare yourself. There are over 1,000 different types of credit scores used today. Wait a minute. 1,000? 1,000 scores. What the actual fuck? You've got to be kidding me. How the hell are you supposed to know what's going on if there's 1,000 different credit scores out there? And I know a lot of you are probably in the same boat where you're trying to figure out what's real, what's not, what the fuck is going on. Now, let's be real, okay? Every credit card company and every bank and all kinds of websites will offer you your credit score for free, right? Check your credit. Know what your credit score is. Credit Sesame, Credit Karma, credit this, credit that, up your butt credit, whatever the fuck credit, all that kind of shit. Now, here's the problem, okay? First and foremost, the credit scores you get, if you didn't know this, here's some education for you. I'll drop some knowledge on you. Ready for some knowledge? If you didn't know this, the credit scores that you get on places like Credit Sesame and Credit Karma are not FICO scores. They're what are called Vantage scores. If you do a little digging into people that are knowledgeable about this, they actually call them, FACO scores. They're fake. They're not based on anything that lenders actually use, is my understanding. So it's kind of informational, but pointless, really. I mean, if the lenders aren't going to use them, what good are they? They're not. It's like, okay, so you can walk in there and think your credit score is one thing, and it's going to be something completely different. When you turn around and go, wait, my score says this, and the guy behind the counter is actually thinking something along the lines of,
you are one pathetic loser.
Because they've got a completely different score. You know what I mean? Now, let's take that to the next level, right? So let's say, okay, yeah, I'm not going to use the scores from Credit Karma and all these other things. I'm going to use, the score I'm getting from my credit card company or my bank. Have you noticed that they're not the same either? They're all over the fucking place. I can tell you for a fact that and it's so fucking frustrating that I can look at one of my credit cards and it'll see one score, and I can look at another one and the score is up to 70 points different. Wait a minute. You're fucking telling me 70 fucking points? I mean, that's like getting a slap to the face. Ow! Just like that. It's like, what the... I can understand minor differences. I mean, you would assume that these scores would be close to the fucking same. Maybe a few points difference. 70 fucking points on a scale that only goes to 800? That's 10%. Fuck you. No fucking way. You've got to be kidding me. Why? Why is it fucking different? There's no explanation for it. There's no fucking need for it. Why the fuck should it be like that? Why the fuck do they need to have fucking 1,000 different credit scores? And while we're talking about why the fuck, let me ask you another question. Why the fuck does my car insurance company need to fucking pull my credit? Shouldn't they pull my driving record? Why is it that your credit affects every fucking thing? It affects everything. Fucking jobs are running credit fucking checks. Your apartments, if you're renting an apartment, if you're renting a house, if you go to buy a house, if you got to get a car, you name it. Everything is fucking entwined with this shit, and you have no chance of success unless you're perfect. So unless nothing bad has ever happened to you, unless you haven't had some kind of fucking tragedy or an emergency car repair or an emergency house repair or an emergency fucking medical situation, and you're one of those people, which I would call you a goddamn unicorn at that point, something's going to happen. You're going to miss a fucking payment. You're going to forget that it's, on the 15th and you pay it on the 17th, and some of these companies will ding you for that. Unless you're a fucking unicorn, something's going to happen. And it's tied to everything in your life. Every fucking thing. Oh my God. And all you can do is sit there and be like, now, we're fortunate to be in 2021 and we can fucking go online and get some idea of this. I can't imagine being my parents or my grandparents trying to figure this shit out, in the fucking 60s and 70s before the age of the internet, and you walk into the car dealership not knowing what the fuck is going on. At least now you're going to have some semblance of an idea if you're going to get approved or not. But you're going to, maybe back then you would walk into a car dealership, just kind of like, shy and timid, and you're trying to figure out how to go through this process, and you're going to walk up to the salesman and you're going to be like,
I'd like to buy a car, please. Can you help me with this?
Right? That's what's going to wind up going on. You feel like a baby. You don't know what the hell's going on. And you sit down and they're just like, we got a winner, Johnny. We're going to have some fun with this.
You are an idiot.
I can't imagine what it would be like back then, trying to figure out how to deal with credit. And especially because back then you had to pay your bills via the mail and write checks. Holy fucking shit. Can you imagine? This is why they taught fucking balancing your checkbook, right? Because you didn't know what was out and what was getting paid, and it wasn't instantaneous. And even then, you didn't have a way to immediately check your fucking bank account balance because there weren't ATMs. Oh my God. We are so fucking spoiled in 2021 to have internet access and ATMs and apps on our phone that tell us immediately what's going on with our bank. When's the last time you saw anyone write a fucking physical check? Personally, I'm glad they don't. I've seen a couple at the fucking grocery store and you wonder what's going on. And, you go back and you're like, yeah, that person's probably writing a check now because they don't get paid for 2 days and hoping that it doesn't clear. I've done that in my past. We've all had those instances. So, why the fuck is this stuff not taught is my fucking problem, is why I'm fucking irritated at it. We go into school and they teach economics, right? They're going to teach gross national product and economics on a country scale. Well, if you're not going to be like an economics studier, you really kind of only need a general idea on that. I think personally, as part of maybe, I don't even know if they have home economics anymore, which was teaching you about cooking when I was in school. I think it should be more about, I don't know, credit cards, how fucking, shit. My brain just went poo-poo. How fucking finance rates work and how your fucking annual percentage rate comes in and what that does to your fucking payments. And it also needs to be taught about, hey, this is how credit affects everything and how to do it responsibly. And that should be a fucking semester-long class at a minimum in high school. You should, as a matter of fact, you should probably start teaching it in junior high at this point, right? Because they're going to get into it at that point. All these kids have fucking debit cards these days and what have you. Might as well do it back then. But why isn't this fucking taught? Why isn't this taught to our fucking kids? Right? And even more so, I wish my parents had taught me about this. And they didn't. And then I enlisted in the Army, during my senior year of high school. So when I got out, and then the fucking credit card companies will throw credit at soldiers because it's like, oh, you got a guaranteed job for the next 4 years. Guess what? Right? My first credit card, this is how old I am. My first credit card was a calling card because I was stationed overseas in Germany and I wanted to be able to call home. So my first credit card was actually an AT&T calling card back in the day. Oh, yes, I'm fucking old. But anyway, why isn't this taught? Why isn't this? Here's a couple of things I think should happen. Number one, there should be some kind of formal education in the education system for this. There needs to be more awareness and education brought to this. Yes, parents have some level of responsibility for it and fucking need to do it. But I think that actually needs to happen as far as let's take out, make the gross national product level economics an elective. If someone's interested in that, hey, it's there for you. Great. But let's put that in the school system. Number two, yes, parents need to get more involved. Parents need to teach it. Parents need to get more educated on it and start instilling it in their kids at a young age. Now, the next one I'm going to say is going to be slightly controversial. I actually think there needs to be some form of fucking government regulation on this shit. I don't want the government all up in my Kool-Aid, and I don't think a lot of people do. But the fact that there are over 1,000 different credit scores and the shit's arbitrary, it seems to be arbitrary as fuck. The government needs to get involved and kind of regulate this so that people don't get screwed. I mean, isn't that why the fucking whole, housing thing went crazy where they were, selling bad credit loans to people that they couldn't afford and they sell them off and it was this big thing and then everything blew up. I think the government needs to get involved and kind of regulate credit scores and actually make it so that if there are 1,000 scores, we need to have access to all 1,000. I think more than likely what they need to do is narrow that down some. And I'm not saying limit it to just the three, right? The Equifax and the Experian and the TransUnion. But at least get it to the point where we have access, regular access, not once a year or whatever the fuck this stupid shit is. Regular access to see what's going on. In the age of fucking identity theft, we need regular access to our credit scores, to our credit reports. It shouldn't cost us a fucking thing. And we need to know the real numbers, not the bullshit numbers that are peddled by these fucking apps and websites. That's what it boils down to me. I think that's what needs to happen. I think that's where fucking can make a big, big fucking difference. And then quit tying it to everything. If it doesn't fucking apply to what you need, there shouldn't be a way to access it. Again, car insurance, right? Car insurance. Why the fuck do you need my credit, right? And I guess an argument can be made to say, well, that's how likely you are to pay your bill. Well, but if you look at the car insurance, then they're going to look back and see how long you were covered before, right? And so if there's a lapse in coverage because you didn't pay your bill, you're going to be able to tell that. So if you want to do that, it shouldn't really affect your rate. I mean, look at my driving record all day long. I wish my credit score was as good as my driving record. I'd swap them in a minute if I could. Because in the past, I've been through shit. I've had shitty credit. I've been working on it. And that's why some of this stuff with these credit scores fucking infuriate me. Because it shouldn't be this hard. It shouldn't be this ridiculous to try and figure out, here's the steps I need to take, and here's what my score is, and here's what it could be if I do these things. But you can only tell that on, 6 or 7 of the 1,000 fucking scores that are out there. Why? What the fuck? Why? It makes no fucking sense to me. And because it's tied to everything, it fucks with every asset of your life. Every aspect of your life. I wouldn't be surprised, in the future, you watch some of these movies, I wouldn't be surprised if the fucking, when you're trying to date someone, they scan your eye and it tells them, who you are and your credit score and your medical fucking history before you go on a date. Maybe that's the next level of Match.com or something. I don't know. Can you tell I'm frustrated with it? It's fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. It needs to be there. Don't get me wrong, right? It needs to be there. But it doesn't need to interfere with everything like that. And here's the other thing, right? It's a catch-22. If you've got bad credit, the only way to get to good credit is to get some more credit, but because you have bad credit, nobody will give you credit, so you can't get to good credit. Huh? What? The actual fuck? Are you kidding me? And then what happens is, I don't know about you guys, I get something in the mail like every other day offering me some kind of fucking credit card. Like, hey, you pre-approved for this credit card, and you can get this, and you can get that. And, when you're first trying to figure this out, this is what you feel like. You're like, I hit the fucking jackpot. Yay, I'm going to get a credit card. And then you look at it and realize, if you dig into it more, you realize it's not a good idea. It's not a good credit card. It's going to charge you an annual fee. The fucking APR is too high. You name it. It's a catch-22. You can't win. If you get to that point where you have bad credit, you've got to get credit to improve it. And then you got to jump through a bunch of hoops. Here's the other thing that I'm discovering as I was going through my process of fixing my shit. Do you know that if you don't have a mortgage, that's actually considered negative on your credit? Wait a fucking minute. You're telling me that because I don't have a mortgage, right, which is the biggest debt you can really have, that hurts my credit score? How the fuck does that work? Because I'm renting a place, I'm less of a human being, and it should hurt my credit score, and you look at everything, and everything else is paid beautifully, but because you don't have a mortgage, we're going to ding your fucking score. Again, here's what I have to say to that. Fuck you. It doesn't need to be that way. It doesn't need to be that way. And furthermore, next point, why the hell do you get to fucking go back 7 fucking years? Are any of us the same person we were 7 years ago? If you are, or you say you are, I'm calling bullshit right fucking now. No one is the same person they were 7 years ago. You have changed in some way, hopefully for the better. But none of us are the same person we were 7 years ago. It just does not work that way. But what do these lenders get to do? They get to look at your report, and it's got all this shit on there. And rather than look at what's really going on, the current trends, they will find some excuse where you didn't pay for your fucking lunch money in 3rd grade, and you don't get approved. You don't get it. Oh, look at this. There was a time you didn't pay for your lunch, and for that reason, we're not going to approve you to move into this home. So you're going to go live in a van down by the river. How the fuck does that work? And why is that okay? Again, I think this needs to be regulated a little bit better. Not that I want more government control in my shit, but I think realistically, we need to fucking kind of up stuff, right? Maybe the 7-year thing was before the age of the internet, before electronic records, and before the time when all this shit was instantly available. My God, credit. It's so fucking fucked up. And the fact of the matter is there's so many people out there with what is considered less than good credit. For whatever reason. I mean, how many people are fucked right now because of COVID, because they haven't been working or they're on furlough or whatever happened to them? How many people are going to lose homes because of this, right? That federal thing where they say they can't kick you out and all that kind of shit, it's not going to last forever. And these people are going to come hunting for their money back. It's going to happen. And people are going to lose homes over it. It's bullshit. My goodness gracious. I thought I promised I was going to try and do something a little more uplifting, and instead I'm ranting about credit and depressing myself here as I talk. Sorry, people, but hey, what do you do? To me, this is important shit, because again, it affects every part of your fucking life. And we do a shitty job. As a father, I did a shitty job talking to my kids about credit. I did talk to them. I did better than my mother did. God bless her soul. I love my mom. Wish she was still here. And I did a better job than she did. And I'm not saying she did bad, but I don't think I did enough of a good job preparing my children for it. And I did talk to them about it. So hopefully they do a better job than I did. But something has to get done. Something has to improve in order to make this better. And I think part of that is not going back as far as 7 years. Maybe 5, maybe 4, I don't know. I don't have the answer because I'm not a financial insider. I'm just a guy that is trying to figure this shit out and do better is all I am. And I think there's a lot of people out there that are in the same boat. You know, bad stuff happens to people. It doesn't need to haunt them forever, especially when you look at what's going on. And if they're trying to fix it, hey, let's not be jerks about it. So there's my rant on credit and credit scores. Thank you guys so much for listening in. I do appreciate it. Please, again, go to find the YouTube channel, subscribe, like, comment, all that kind of stuff. If you would be so kind as to go into wherever you're listening to this and leave a review. Again, I think right now the only place you can do that is Apple Podcast, and I'm on Apple Podcast. But right now, to my knowledge, right now you can't leave a review on Spotify. But find the YouTube channel, leave a comment there. Definitely do it on Apple if you can. I would really, really appreciate it. And again, the whole goal is to get it better. And I've got some stuff coming up that should be funnier. Maybe I cracked a couple jokes in this one. I don't know. But I'm going to be recording a podcast next week with a friend of mine who is actually a professional stand-up comedian, and she'll be great. She will have some stuff to rant about. I guarantee it. You guys should enjoy that one. So I'll record that next week, and I think I'll have that up by Friday the 19th. Don't think that's going to be a problem at all. And I've got some other things coming up with some other people that hopefully I have some more guests on the show that'll be funnier, and I think that having a two-way conversation will be a little bit better. But again, please bear with me as that stuff comes up and comes in. Please like, subscribe, review, and all that kind of stuff. And most of all, please keep listening, and thank you so much. Have a great rest of your week and weekend and life for that matter, and we'll catch you on the flip side.